Why we are bullish on the world economy and the global markets? Next. First, I would have to qualify a bit. I speak more as a businessman rather than as a professional. I mean, I'm a fund manager, but accidentally in the fund management industry, I see myself more as a businessman. So I will like to share with you how we manage our business so that you can understand the way we look at economies, the way we look at investments. I think the important thing is to seize opportunities. There's this book called The Luck Factor, written by Richard Wiseman. He's a professional psychologist in UK, and he conducted this experiment. You know, he put a £5 note on the street, and there's a group of people that will take up the £5 note. They will see the £5 note, take it up, and make profitable use of it. Then there'll be another group of people where the £5 note will be placed in the same spot, and they will miss it totally. So after that, he interviewed these two groups, and he found that the first group who saw it and make beneficial use of it consider themselves as lucky. The second group who miss it totally, even though it was the same spot, consider themselves as unlucky. So the message is, you could have an investment opportunity right in front of you. Are you in the first group or are you in the second group? This is not a prediction of a crash 6 months later. That's not my forecast. This is the headline cover of Business Week in 1987, October, when New York market plunged 20+% in about a day or so. And if you do a Google search, Barron's, the US magazine, January first week cover, they interview a lot of fund managers, analysts, and so on, and almost everyone predicted a global depression at that time. Next. So what I did was 4 months later, I set up my first company. Next. And in 1997, July the 3rd, the Thai currency was under speculative attack. Next. And 11 days later, our hard-earned ringgit became 40% cheaper because the ringgit was attacked. And in that time, I set up my Malaysian fund management company. Next. And if you look at 2001-02, just to refresh your memory, that was the technology bubble. In case most of you have forgotten, the Nasdaq had a bear market lasting almost 3 years. The Nasdaq Composite Index plunged almost 80%. Go back, do a Google search, and many economists, many analysts, many fund managers, and so on were also saying that, look, there's going to be a technology-driven global depression. Thanks. So what I did was, almost at the end of that bear market, I launched my website. Well, mainly because prices of servers were cheaper, salaries of IT workers were much lower. Next. And in early 06, I set up my first foreign company in Singapore. The reason was because I'm very thankful, perpetually thankful to Abdullah Badawi for lifting capital control. Because he lifted it, I think, towards the end of 05, and I literally ran down to Singapore to quickly set up the Singapore office, just in case Malaysian government decides to reimpose capital control. And in July 1997, the subprime problem started to grab global headlines. And typical of my style, next, I launched my global fund. September 15, 08 is the date that you must remember for the next 100 years, because 5 years, 10 years from now, financial economic historians will start looking back and ask the question, why was Lehman Brothers allowed to collapse? It is a question that no Western mass media, whether it's BBC or CNN or whatever it is, if you notice, every single one of them has been silent on this. They have grilled Bernanke. Why did you pressurize Bank of America to buy Merrill Lynch? But they have never asked, hey, why did we allow Lehman Brothers to collapse? Next. Within a few weeks, that single collapse, led to a global crash. In that week, New York, London, Frankfurt, Tokyo plunged 20 to 25%. Next. And typical of my style, I obtained the Australian financial license in December 2008. What I want to share with you is the way I manage my business is the same way that I look at economies, I look at investment. And look, the world economy will eventually recover. Whether it's V-shaped, W-shaped, nobody really knows. I mean, we can give our forecast, but most of our forecasts will turn out to be wrong. You know? So the way to invest is to also not forget that has the share price collapsed? Yeah, economy is bad and so on and so forth, but the share price may have discounted all the negatives. I'm sure tomorrow the sun will still rise. Next. So what we've been saying since quite some time, which the age obviously captured the essence of our view, is that we've been more optimistic than most other people. I'm not always an optimist. In 97, 98, I was very pessimistic, and I think the word to describe our view is realistic, because as a businessman, I have to be realistic. Next. Next. The reality number one, from our point of view, is that the subprime and the US housing industry did not cause the global contraction.